In this video, I'm going to show you how to get your project into Revit so that you can keep developing it there for a 3D print or so that you can do a smaller experimental project in Revit. This video will show you how to do all the preparation, and then the next few videos will take you through the actual modeling. So the first thing we do is finish up the modeling in Sketchup. You can see that I've got the massing complete. I've added a few details. And then over here on the right, I've got some tags that I've added. And this just allows me to control certain elements. I can turn the roof off, I can turn off windows, maybe doors. That's going to be even more important when I put this into Revit. So you want to make sure to get it done here before you export. And then the next thing, I'll go File, Export the 3D model. Find a place where you want to save it and change the file type so that it says AutoCAD DWG. Hit Export. And then you go into Revit. And in Revit, we have to do an import. So to do that, I'm going to go Insert, Import CAD, and go find the very same file that you just exported as a DWG. You might have to change the file type to be able to see DWGs. You shouldn't have to change any of the sizing or import units. Click Open once you're ready, and your project will show up, although initially it's going to be pinned so that you can't move it around. So you can use the pin tool to unlock it. Just select it, select it, unpin, then you can move it. You might also have to drag these elevation tags a little bit because I think when it initially comes in, if it's a large temple, it's not really going to fit inside of the original placement of those tags. Okay, I'm going to go look at it in 3D. And remember that the reason that we created tags was so that we could control what we see here. And in any given view, I can go to VV, Visibility Graphics, Imported Categories, and you can see that my roof is currently turned off, but if I turn it back on, it gets in the way. I can't see the walls, so it's really convenient to just be able to turn that off. And then the next thing that I did was I drew walls all the way around the perimeter. Mine are just 12-inch generic walls. There wasn't a 12-inch, but I was able to create one. I started with the 8-inch generic and just duplicated it, made it a little bit bigger. I went all the way around the perimeter. It's kind of hard to see if you align out on the perimeter because some of this isn't actually transparent or see-through. And if that's the case, you can always change your view type to wireframe. It gets confusing because there's a lot going on here, but that's the actual wall that I put inside of Revit. And this line out here represents something from the original model. So you can kind of look at it, study it, decide what's what, and that will help you decide maybe what you're looking at in the plan view and what to align to. Okay, the next thing is that I wanted to rename my front elevation because I'm going to be working there quite a bit, just looking at this straight on from the front. And initially this was my south elevation. I just simply right-click, rename. I named that front. That makes it a little bit easier to get where I want to go. And then the last thing I did was I deleted out any of the levels that I didn't need down here at the bottom. There was one for basement and top of footing, and none of that matters for a 3D print, so I just as soon get rid of them. And then I had to lift my entire model up so that it would align with the first floor. You can use the Align tool to do that. That's AL. You type in AL, choose your datum, then pick the bottom of the model, shifts it up into place. Okay, and then the last thing was I took my roof datum and I just moved it up so that it would match the top of my walls. I actually had to turn off my imported categories for roof in order to do that. But once that was turned off, it was really easy. Once again, I just used the Align tool and I took that roof datum right up to the top of my walls. Okay, with that, I feel like I'm ready to go. Didn't even adjust the second floor. Maybe there's some other datums that I'll need later on, but for right now, this is okay. This is good. And just in case you want to view things differently, you can always go into your first floor, type in VV here, and go down to your walls. Go over to the cut pattern, override for walls, and we'll put in a solid fill in the background, make it a light gray. And that just makes it a little bit easier to see those walls, especially when you're in wireframe. If you're not in wireframe, some of them are still going to get hidden. But if you're in wireframe, now you know, okay, those are my Revit walls. and they kind of stand out from everything else. Okay, I believe that's all you need for preparation. The rest of it should be covered in the next few videos.